It's King Slay here to slay your life, honey. Today's look is going to be on this very intense fall look. It goes great with any kind of crazy lip that you guys have been dying to try. So it's very universal. If you're interested, keep watching. If not, who gives a fuck? Hey you guys, so I primed my face using Benefit's Professionals, and now I'm gonna zoom you in so you can see how I do my brows. Okay, so I'm going to use the NYX Micro Brow Pencil in the color Blonde because my eyebrows are lightened, and I am going to follow the bottom of the brow and kind of work my way through the bottom. So you'll have to excuse my crazy looking brows right now. I'm trying to grow them out so I can get them reshaped. And don't worry, you don't have to be neat about this because we're actually gonna go in and clean it up. Now I'm gonna go on the top and kind of carve the top out. And in the front, I'm just going to take my pencil, place it where the last bit of hairs grow, and I'm going to flick it up. And what that's going to do, that's going to create a nice soft gradient effect in the front. And then I'm going to go back into the tail of the brow and continue to fill. So I'm pretty happy with that one, so I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So starting from the bottom, working my way back to the tail, just following the way my natural hairs grow. Now going from the top, and when you do the top, you don't want to bring it all the way to the beginning. You kind of want to go out a little bit and connect that, and from the arch, bring it down to the tail. And this pencil is very light, so I can build my color to how I want it, but I kind of want to leave my brows nice and light. And now I'm going to take the front, start from where the hairs start, and flick up. And that's going to create that gradient effect that we did on the other brow. And you can kind of use your pencil to give yourself some color where you don't have hairs, because when you go in to clean it, it'll look like there's something there. And I love these pencils, guys. These are like dupes for the Anastasia pencil. But if I can get the same effect, but cheaper, I'm all about it. I tried these out because somebody said they were really good, and they was not lying. So now that I'm pretty happy with the color, I am going to take a concealer. And I'm using the LA Girl concealer in the color Medium Beige. I'm going to pick some of that up from the back of my hand, and I'm going to start at the front of the brow, right under. So you want to bring this concealer as close as possible to where those hairs are starting to grow, because the closer you get it, the more sharp the brow will be. So I want to get as close as possible to make sure I'm getting a good amount of product, especially because my brows are not done. So just smack that shit on there and fake it. And now I'm going to drag that concealer down. So grabbing it, laying my brush down where I placed it, and kind of bringing it down. And this is going to help the blending process when we go in with the sponge. Now I'm going to take my Real Technique sponge. I am going to blend this out. Now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Now I always warn people when I'm teaching them how to fill in their brows to not bring this concealer past where your hairs are. Because some people have a tendency to connect them so that they can get like a perfect shape and kind of make sure that they're even. And what that can do is that in pictures, you'll have this weird shadow that'll kind of look like you're growing a unibrow. But if that's your thing, do you, girl. Now I'm going to take the concealer that we used, and I'm going to outline the top the same way I did the bottom. But this time, instead of holding my brush like this and using the very tip of it, I'm going to hold my brush down on its side and trace that brow. I'm going for a more carved out brow because the look we're gonna do is gonna have a intense lip. I just feel like it looks better carved out. And if it's not perfect, it's okay, because I'm gonna teach you guys how to fix it up and make it look good. So, taking a little bit more of that concealer, I'm gonna do the other side, and then I'm gonna blend these puppies out. Laying this on the side, getting it as close as possible. Blend these out. So like here, I want to give it a little bit more here, so I just go back in with the pencil. And you want to do this part very precisely. You don't want to be like, because then it's going to kind of mess up the clean look. So I am pretty satisfied with the brows. So now I am going to do the eye. I'm going to prime the eye with soft ochre paint pot. And I'm going to use my Sonia Kashuk brush to do this, the same one I always use. And we always start close to that lash line and kind of blend it out. You can bring it all the way to the brow bone. Now I'm going to set that with some face powder. I'm just using some cheap brush. And this is the Urban Decay face powder in medium warm. It's really good for those days where I don't feel like doing my makeup but I need to look put together for work, because it gives me a little something something, but not nothing where I have to be sitting there for hours blending. So I'm going to take MAC's Soft Brown, and I'm going to work that color in my crease. Literally, this is going to be the easiest eye you've ever seen. And I usually go pretty round with my eyes, but today we're going to kind of bring it out a little bit. And I'm going to continue to build that color until I'm satisfied with the darkness. So now that I'm pretty satisfied with that, I'm going to take a smaller blending brush. This one is the Morphe 330. I'm going to pick up the color Bridesmaid by Morphe brushes, just to give a little definition. And I'm going to do it mostly focusing on the outside corner, flicking it up. And I'm just picking that color up little by little so I can build it. Perfect. Now I'm going to take my fluffy brush again. This is my favorite, the Sedona Lace brush that I always use. And I'm going to pick up more of MAC's Soft Brown. And I'm just going to use that to kind of blend these colors out. This is a super simple look, you guys. But once we're done with it, it's going to look really pretty. Now, for the fun part, we're going to use that same brush that we used to clean up the brows. I'm going to pick up more of that Painterly, and I'm going to use that to give me a like very soft cut crease. So right now I'm just kind of placing the color, like outlining how I want it to be. And then I'm going to show you how to blend it out to make it all happen. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm doing almost like a wing liner kind of thing. So now that I'm pretty happy with the shapes of them, I'm just going to drag it down kind of like what we did with the concealer. You want to make sure you're not bringing any of it up, because all that's going to do is ruin the effect at the end. I'm going to take a clean brush and blend this out. So now I'm going to use that same brush between the two colors, because that's what will make the cut crease look even more intense. And it's okay if you bring it out, because we're going to clean it up. So now I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush. I'm just going to brush over them. Take this Pigment by MAC. It's from, I think it was last holiday's collection, but they might make something similar. This is called Whisper Pink, and we're gonna place that all over the lid with a flat brush. The Morphe M408, and I want to use this wet, so it's almost like a cream consistency. So I'm gonna spray my brush with Fix Plus and kind of tap the extra off on my hand, just so that it's not too wet, but it's wet enough to pick it up and deposit it. So now taking a very thin brush, and I'm gonna use just like one of my Bobbi Brown pointed brushes, and I'm gonna go into that Bridesmaid, and I'm actually gonna mix Bridesmaid with like a dark brown, and I'm gonna use this right in that cut crease to give it even more definition. And I'm using the brown from the Comfort Zone palette, so, and make sure that since you're using a cheaper eyeshadow that you're knocking off the extra on your hand before you go in with it. That's kind of like a sure way that you won't mess up your makeup. And I'm kind of just gonna flick that up a tiny bit just so that when I go in to blend it, it's gonna be easier to blend. I'm like real excited about this eye. I think it's gonna be like real cute and whatever. All I did was blend a little bit, and now I'm going to go in with my liner. So for the liner, I'm gonna use an angled brush. This is a Crown Brushes brush, and I'm gonna use my Urban Decay pot liner in Perversion. It looks like this. I'm just gonna pick some up, warm it up on the back of my hand, making sure to coat both sides of the brush. I'm gonna start from the corner. Then I connect that in. Just filling that in. And I'm gonna connect that all the way in. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side, and I'll be right back. So what I did was I set the whole face. I put black liner in the inner rim of the eye. Alright, so let's move on to the fun part, the lip. Now the whole reason for this look being recorded was because I wanted to show you that this was a fun look that you could do and switch out the lip. So this could be like your go-to fall look. So you could rock the look with a red lip. You could rock the look with a very deep lip like this. Or you could rock it with a black lip. And this is the final look. Very intense fall look. Hope you guys like it. If you did, make sure you comment, subscribe, and like the video. And remember, life is your runway. So bitch, you better work.
Bella the boar, B&G better than the mall. Never been the floor. Pretty kitty, manicured claws. Silly, never been a drawer. When the purr, ready when the pour. Cause a stir when she on the floor.